Welcome back, Internet. I can never have a formulaic introduction. Or rather, no, my brain's just stopped working completely. Something about formulaic introduction and how I just end up resenting it and then not wanting to say it because, yeah, I feel like, hey, you all heard this before. And if you knew, I don't know, like, don't be new. So yeah, Barbarian, Chungus. Gonna go farm Tristram, I guess. I mean, Terrazone Tristram, not bad, not bad. Lots of uniques all shoved together. You kill Rakanishu on the way. You know, you just kind of have a decent life. It's not that bad. And I kind of want to give this guy a hustle desert merc now that, like... I'd have to mule the hustle over to him now. Like, I don't know. I had the base somewhere. It doesn't matter. Anyway. Whoa. Attack rating, so bad. The curse, everything just immediately starts going wrong because I'm playing a melee character. Honestly, it's not that bad. Now this guy is legitimately tanky, whereas like the druid though, that I was just playing, the bear, was like... The bear was like, just had a lot of life. This guy has more life. And like quite a good chance to dead. I don't know why I'm killing this shaman. Also, this is on player's 5, which is like way too chunky for this guy, which is so stupid when, you know, I'm running around with a Doombringer and the damage is still kind of poopy. Like, there has to be some rune right out there or something, I don't know. Nah, you get ignored. Ah, Mercenary just got deleted. But like... In fairness, yeah, this guy does have pretty bad charms. The all res is nice. This is just chucked out on the ground, I suppose. What do we got here? Yeah, more attack rating and more attack rating. Like, he just whiffs so much, and it's crazy. Like, I probably need to put an Eth rune in this sword, but it genuinely seemed like the druid was just like hitting stuff so much more easily than this guy can. But this guy, you know, obviously he's wearing like MF stuff, but I feel like he has better equipment than the druid does, like in his that kind of like quote unquote battle gear, you know, like.
Good day.
Oh yeah, I need to res my merc.
Hello.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a devotee of the berserker. As I said, like the bear just impressed me way more than the berserker. The biggest thing about the berserker that impressed me was that like he's so good at just like not playing the game when you don't want to play the game. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that in like a smart ass way that like that's not worth something, because that's worth a lot. Because as a melee character, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff in this game that you're just not going to want to interact with. And when you just have this like awesome button where you can just say, nah, everything, just fuck off, get out of here. I'm not doing this now. Like, that is a really, really fun button to have as a melee character. But Claudius does way more damage. In fairness, this guy clearly does more damage if they're firing him, so... You know, he's not that bad. I just had this on Player's Flag. It's so hard to get a melee character who can, like, really scale into, like, the high player settings. But in fairness, that's also one of the reasons why I was super impressed with the bear in general, because... yeah, we're just gonna... come back to that. Not much point fighting in all that mess with a curse. No. This thing, you gotta just know when to go, you know? But yeah, like, the Barbarian was so much tankiness, and as I say, it's like one of the things that did impress me about the Druid was that, like, he was generally playing on players 3, players 5 in Hell. This guy did not play players 3 through Hell. This guy did players 1, and he can farm in players 3 now, but, like, tell me I'm wrong. Fireclaws do more damage. In fairness, Fireclaw is wielding, you know, an obedience. Even though this guy has, like, this much health, I don't have the nerve to run around without a shield. It's crazy, but, like... I don't know, it just... The health yo-yo's way too much. The problem is that Hal is like a really great CC for like getting rid of like a huge horde of enemies, but it's not super reliable once things get like scrappy. Like with the bear, you can enter quite a few combats and literally take no damage because that's spell steal, I think. But yeah, as the bear, you can literally go into like combat after combat after combat and literally take 0 damage because you just keep everything stunned as you fight. The only thing you have to worry about not being stunned, you know, champs and uniques. That's pretty cool. I do like spell steal, but the decrepify is so nice. Because you can just have a good time killing act bosses with that decrepify. And then obviously the teleport's like super nice. And the minus requirements. It's super expensive to recharge though, as far as I know. But, you know, it's cool to have one in the inventory. Just have it there in case you need it. You never know when you're going to need to be able to teleport. And obviously the goal is to have an Enigma.
Yes?
Though I don't know who I'd put the Enigma on at this point. Like, I don't think this guy is, like, anywhere near good enough that he can, like, go properly, like, pit circing and make it. profitable. Right now, I'm just trying to get him some EXP more than anything else, and it's like, yeah, if we get some drops on the way, then like that's nice too. But and one thing I will say for the Doombringer is like, man, it chops quick. I feel like if I can get this guy's attack rating sorted out, the damage won't feel that bad. Because, yeah, I mean, look at that though. Like, this guy's doing like the same kind of damage that the Fireclaw Druid was doing without Fireclaws. Like, actually, no cap. I'm like exaggerating. That's just that is the physical numbers. Like the Fireclaw Druid was doing like 1 to 3k with like auto attacks, and then was doing closer to like, you know, 8, 10k kind of damage with Fireclaw. But I will say, then I just kind of watch this guy and I'm like, oh, he does seem to be cutting through things if the number is that much lower. And then I think to myself like, oh, actually, yeah, hold on a second, hold up. Like, you know, these are 3 different damage types, and they are not, you know, it's the we are not the same meme. Magic damage hits so much harder in hell than fire on most things, and it hits harder than physical on like basically everything, because everything in hell has 50% physical resist. And most things in hell are also going to have like at least, you know, somewhere like up to 75% fire resist, but like, see that? How like I can't actually just howl them off me? Wait, is that another freaking spell steal? Just like instantly? Man, it's such a cool thing to see when you like make someone, like when you make a unique drop two uniques, like you get that double drop and you're like, oh, like even though, you know,
welcomes you.
it's hard to be like too impressed with the drop, because I think this is like my 3rd spell seal, but still, you know, I don't know, I might mule that, because it is a really useful freaking item. The decrep charges and the teleport. It also gives, wait, hold on, doesn't it give faster cast rate as well? Yeah, it does, but only 10%. Yeah, I actually kind of want to hack these minions up if I can. It's like, I really should just put a point in taunt. But I keep saying like, oh, I'll do it next level. But it's so like, taunt is the thing that will make it easier to level, that's the thing. When everything is going well with this guy. This is freaking dangerous because we're gonna go first. Just replaced the juvie I had to take there. Quickly, like, snatch it off the floor before I book it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I kind of underestimate how tanky this guy is. Because the bear did not feel that squishy. In fairness, the bear had, like... Oh, actually, hold on. I mean, the bear had better fire res. Yeah, the bear had comparable lightning res, better fire res. Because the bear was in, like, proper, like, you know... was in his combat togs. He was loaded for bear. But also, like, yeah, get an F rune in this and actually, like, hit more, or check the breakpoints on it and see if it, and, yeah, see if it can, benefit from a shale rune or something. I don't know. But as I say, the resistance is definitely part of why this guy feels a little bit squishier. He does have more life. He does have, like, a decent block chance. He just tends to get beaten up a little bit more by electrical. Also, I'm so, like, bad at just remembering to, like, quickly toggle the R when you actually start getting into, like, fights, because, you know, block chance is not worth that much. You kind of halve it when you're running. But yeah, I actually want to hack through some minions here if I can. Although I probably should wait until I'm in Tristram to try and do that, and actually, like, get the Terror Zone ones. It did that weird UI thing again, where, like, you know, it had me stuck on that. Also, that's Skin of the Blade one or something? It's a pretty cool item. Man, these skeletons are tanky boys. This is... a little bit dangerous, but we can just quickly get this guy dead. Yeah, that was the main goal there. Not too bad. I was hacking at him with concentration for some crazy reason. But yeah, this guy's doing okay. He just levels really slowly because now part of me wanted to say that because he doesn't have taunt, but, like, you know, the truth is because he doesn't have any AoE.
Good day.
Impossible.
Killing a lot of stuff with the bear. Like, the bear was, like, higher level than this. I think just, like, at least comparable level to this, just physically playing through hell. Just because, like... The bear just has better CC. I mean, like... I don't know. Hal has its advantage over Shockwave in that Hal has much longer range. It can be used to like stop archers shooting at you from like you know more successfully and just genuinely like shut down an entire area. But doesn't keep you anywhere near as safe. Enemies that are already next to you don't give a shit about it. And it sends enemies away, which is not necessarily what you want. And I understand that it's like, well, you want to see something, you know. But it's a question of like the bear CC is like, it's a hard CC that, you know, you kind of keep the enemies there and you just kill them while doing so safely. Whereas like if this guy wants enemies to like not be dangerous to him, he needs to send them like so far away that then like
Hello.
you kind of cease interacting with them. But yeah, decent mercenary armor. Like that replenished life is actually not bad at all. Like you So one thing I will say is like this guy deals with being cursed a lot better than the bear. And part of that is him having a shield. Because I know I could make this guy hit way, way, way harder. Like he could
The order welcomes
go around
you.
hunting. You know, if he had a weapon like an Obedience, you know, big two-handed damage stick with like close to 400 ED on it, well, yeah, he'll be hitting a heck of a lot harder as well. How come I can't pick up the gold?
I can't carry anymore.
That's why. But I am going to switch this guy to axes so I can use that plane beak, I think it's called, because it has some MF on it. And then I'll make him some sort of rune axe. But he does fine. Into Tristram. I gotta try some other Terror Zones with him, like... He does pretty well in those, like, open areas. You know, like, Cold Plains is a Terror Zone or something. You just kind of run around and... look for uniques. I do need to do some... Andariel and Mephisto farming at some point. Because... I want to respect that guy into Axe Mastery. I don't know what I'll do with the Doombringer then. I guess I'll get someone a Barbarian Mercenary and try that on him, but it's just like... then they kind of have to be a caster, because... then why would you not want to hustle? Also, Doombringer is very much oriented towards being used in one hand. Like, just the nature of the damage affix that it has on it is like, it's strong with it as a one-handed weapon. It's still decent as a two-handed weapon, but like, that affix just gives you way more value when you're using it in one hand. You get the good amp damage procs. I don't know. I gotta find him like a good stomping area other than Tristram. Like what I need for the Barbarian is like a relatively like open space. At least, you know, just a little bit more open than the pits. Where he can just kind of run around and kill super uniques. Well, not even super uniques, just uniques.
I can't carry anymore.
That must be the skiller I ordered. Yes, let's see what kind of skiller it is. Hold on. It's not a skiller. It's weird. This is a good cold charm, good cold resist charm though. Probably should have held on to that, to be honest. A little bit cheeky to like throw that away, but also like I don't know. I don't think like you can't mule everything onto a new character. Like yeah, look. I would mule skillers onto a new character. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I really just wanted to, like, feel the power. Yeah, I'd mule, like, really good charms. Like, if I do a melee character, like, that to me is one of the most important things you can mule over, is just, like, some really nice attack rating charms. Just, like, you saw had the bear hat back there. Where you're just getting, like, 500 attack rating from a handful of charms, and it's just... makes your life so much easier. And it's like you can take those charms, like you can look at something, you can be like, oh okay, I have this like this chance to hit, and then if I put the charms on, like I get thousands more attack rating, but for some reason my chance to hit only goes up by like a few percent. And so there's a couple of things you have to remember about that. One, if your character like so the more you hit, you inflict like hit recovery, you proc things, you know, you have effects, you leech mana, you leech life, you do this, you do this. So like, hitting consistently in combat means more than just damage, and is important in that sense, that it's more than just damage. Especially if you have any kind of like on-hit CC, like the Amazon does, like I put on the Amazon rather. Then, you know, even more important. But the other thing is, like, you're not necessarily seeing the full story, if that makes sense. When you're seeing an enemy that like it barely changes on, like what you're seeing is like the effect of you being like over leveled.
Good day.
Because both enemies hitting you and you hitting them is so like level is a huge factor. But it's like, now let's like go to an enemy that just like for whatever reason is like higher level, like a super unique or something in a high level area, and now you're not necessarily over leveled anymore. Now your attack rating genuinely matters, and it could make a really big difference in hitting stuff like that. Eventually your character will just get to like such a high level, and this one is getting there, that you can kind of just walk into the pits and like you don't necessarily need much like attack rating charm or anything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna stop with those jokes. Especially when I have to like reposition all weirdly in that spot. Let's just get in the pits. Gotta love cursed archers. Like, imagine if like imagine a world where like at the very least like amp damage was like only applied by like a melee enemy that had curse, and like I don't know, curse archers put like dim vision or something on you, right? Or it's like just really shrink down your light radius. Like that would actually be like frustrating for like Amazons and sorceresses and stuff like that. And maybe not even that that bad for a melee character. Not much fun talking about that. But I do hope this game gets I'm not gonna say content, because, you know, oof, not while we're cursed, please. Oh wait, they're just skeletons. Okay. I thought they were archers. Let's get the curse off now. But yeah, as I was saying, like obviously this game's never gonna get content, but it could have some quote, you know, content in the sense of like maybe a couple of new room, like I know some people were teasing, like they're saying that they might do some stuff with this game soon, that apparently because like big anniversary or something coming up, and I feel like that's probably the most they would actually do. But like some like changes to pre-existing items would be so nice, and obviously they're never gonna like redress fundamental problems, but it would be so nice. And like, I know that that's not the kind of thing that any devs, you know, I'm not just saying anything bad about Blizzard here, like any devs, no devs are going to do anything like that, right? And I would be very happy for this game to have some kind of stupid cash shop where you can, like, I don't know, buy cosmetics for your characters, or hell, even buy a respect token for your character, right? Because like you could farm it in game, or if you just want the laziness, the convenience, just buy it. Obviously, you know, that sort of stuff like only really exists on like single player or you know. But it's like, okay, some like silly cosmetics, t-shirts, mugs, you know, all the normal crap, you know? Yeah, I'd throw some money at that place. I'm sure plenty of people in my position would. Like, we're just not that, you know. Like, I don't care what Blizzard are doing right now. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if I like their current games or whatever. I like this game, and I would like it to have, like... you know, even just a smidge of, like, dev time that can be justified by the cash shop and... you know, even if it takes like 6 months or something for that to become relevant, maybe they just like little patch, little tweak here, little fix there, whatever, you know, like that would be so good. And I'm sure a lot of people in my position are like, you know, we played this game, it's this big nostalgia thing. We're probably never gonna stop playing it, and you know, whatever. Just... yeah, just throw the devs a little bit of cash every now and then, and get some quote content. Jerks are going to be all spread out like this. Get the reinforce. Ching, 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 ching. Ching, ching. That's a biggie for Naughty. Which is...
I am overburdened.
This is potentially interesting because so one of the things that I really want to do is a blade sim, and as far as I understand it, like if you could make like a black or something in an ethereal base, like they would love that. Because their damage scales off the base weapon damage, like it doesn't take on-weapon ED into account. I don't know if it takes like on-weapon plus damage, if you see what I'm saying. Like, you know how like something like Butcher's Cleaver will have plus 20 to 50 damage or something. I have no idea if it factors that in. If it does, then something like Butcher's Cleaver would probably be their best weapon, but otherwise, something like a black made in ethereal base would be just like a really, really top tier weapon for them. Obviously, there are better rune words than black. You know, there's things that have like crushing blow and deadly strike, and you know, a bit of this or a bit of that. Yeah, it's fine. Like,
what you need?
let's not go crazy. But the problem is, like, I don't want to try to do a blade sin until I have an Atmos, like a second Atmos. But yeah, sometimes I'll say like, you know, safety is DPS. But like, see how much this like moving around lowers the DPS? And this is one of the like these sort of scrappy situations are like where something like the Rip Hook absolutely just shines. And because it is so fast, and then once you have everything tagged with slow, like you can kind of just face tank at that point. Like it's all so tame. And then you just spend the whole fight. Like you do just a little bit of dancing, you know, but you get your shots off so fast that even that goes by quickly. And then you just spend the whole fight just like, you know, laying down damage on an angle basically. Very nice. And yeah, the wind force is probably better out here purely because you just want that like chunky front-loaded damage to just kind of physically get rid of stuff. But look, you know, I always understood that like, you know, if you do enough damage, you don't need the CC, right? And the wind force goes through here real nice. There's no denying it. And my poor mercenary. The Valk though, she's just made of sterner stuff. Look, she does not care. It was a crazy little like swarm of freaking super uniques there. Well, not super uniques, just uniques. God, it's such a bad habit of calling them super uniques.
Greetings.
It's one of those things where it's
Your
like,
presence honors me.
I could just call them all uniques and never be wrong.
Good day.
But it's just my brain saying like, you know, more words, you know, stronger term, better term. Yeah, we'll do some Wind Force. And Wind Force with Plague Laws is so not like the double knockback, like. It's not as good as the slow on the Rip Hook for keeping you safe. However, killing shit keeps you safe too. Like. But yeah, this is a great bow. It was such a cool find. But I'm not even gonna lie, like, if I had found the 12 string before the Wind Force and had it upgraded and everything else, like, I would never have even thought about, like, oh, okay, well, now I need to farm a Wind Force. I just been like, no, I got my bow, I'm good. It's just crazy the way the loot cookie crumbles, you know. now I'm like, I really wonder if I will ever see another like truly elite item on that level. When I say elite, I mean as in like the difficulty of finding it, rather than necessarily its power. Although this one is a pretty freaking powerful bow. I don't know, are there any RuneWorld bows that like compete with this? I know there's ones that are like really strong for the elemental. Shenanigans. Oh, that's right. There's the one with the, is it fanaticism? It's not even hustle. It's like a really, it's actually like a pretty high level fanaticism. I don't remember exactly, but I know there are some like really, really strong bow rune words, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll genuinely compete. It would depend on, you know, very much on the affixes that they have. Because this thing, really, it has nothing. It just has damage. It just has so much damage, like almost 300 to max damage, plus a 250 ED. The rest, like the knockback is nice, the mana leech is nice. The the rest is just a load of nonsense. Obviously, the IS is very good as well, but I factored that in with the damage.
Good day.
Let's grab some healing pots.
Not in town.
In town. Refill the old thingamajig and just go again. I am pretty hyped to do a kind of like, you know, hoplite Amazon, where it's like spear and shield, you know, javelin and spear, using the jab and fend and impale. Because I don't know, I don't see how you can really enjoy that otherwise. I mean, in a solo self-down context, I suppose, like, you can hope for the best and hope you find, or can imbue or something, and just, you know, to get a good javelin, but like, you know, there's no way to force it because there's no, like, you can't rune word it or anything, so you know, if you do that kind of build as a like a physical two-handed spear is on, at least you can, you know, at least you can realistically like target farm and obedience and just say, hey, I'm not gonna seriously try to push through hell until I have that. Because it gives you res, it gives you crush at low, it gives you like more than enough physical damage, reduces enemy, blah blah. You know, it's just such a freaking good weapon, like absolute monster damage stick. But it's like, how are you gonna like? Are you just gonna say like, okay, well I'm just gonna farm Mephisto until he drops either one of the like elite unique javelins, like the Demon Arch or something, or he drops a Titan's. Or a Thunderstroke. And there were some spicy archers. And we got an IK hat there.
I can't carry anymore.
I want to look at the IK hat. It's a cool hat. I should probably like put a topazed one of these on my barbarian, but Shaker kind of just better. But at least it looks, you know, it looks cool. Oh, what are you doing?
Good to see you.
But yeah, thus far I put a Berserker, the Sorceress, the Bear, and this Amazon through hell, and the Sorceress took a long time, because the Sorceress is, you know, functionally solo self-found, like completely starting a new account with nothing. The Sorceress is so good at doing that. It's just like, yeah, you play your way to like Nightmare Mephisto and you farm Nightmare Mephisto. And then you play your way to Hell and you farm Hell, like farm Hell Mephisto. And you know, you get a spirit and blah 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 in the meantime. Some Countess farming, and it took a little while. A week or two, I think.
Yes?
Not playing particularly like regularly or anything. And maybe not even a week or two. It took a little while. And there was some dicey fights. Like once I got to Hell Mephisto, you know, when you're doing it in your like cobbled together MF gear, like just some topaz armor or something. Like just killing Mephisto can be a struggle. Your nerf will die constantly. So I was like, alright. I also wanted to unlock, like, so one of the only reasons I actually finished the game, like, you know, went through Hell with that Sorceress and, you know, killed Hell Baal and all that, was because I just wanted to unlock Terror Zones. And have the option. You know, like if the Dunes of Hate was terrorized, I didn't want to miss that. And you know, getting through would, could be kind of rough. Like the Chaos Sanctuary was kind of rough. I've talked about that before. Although, when I say rough, I mean like, you know, like rough for a sorceress is, you know, like, cause by the time I actually went to finish the game, you know, I had decent stuff. Like, I had a Viper Magi, I had the Oculus. I think I had a Stone of Jordan. I can't remember.
The Order welcomes you.
But you know, I had decent enough stuff that I didn't feel like some like scrappy solo found character who was just like scraping by on like the easy rune words or something. And you know, when I say tough, I mean as in like, you know, having to turn it off like players 8, players 5, players 3. Like, I think the Throne of Destruction I brought all the way down to players 1. And I think I might have done part of the Chaos Sanctuary on players 1. I can't remember exactly. But it was certainly not like players 8, you know. Players 5. But the bear did the Chaos Sanctuary pretty comfortably on players 3, I think. Oh no, that's right. I turned all of Act 4 down. But he did the... I can't remember if I turned the Throne of Baal back up, but I'm pretty sure I did. He didn't really have much trouble with any of the Baal waves, apart from the minions, and even then it was just kind of like, yeah, just pull them apart a little bit. And that's normal. Like, there are very few melee. Like, you would have to be on a, like, just basically really strong build right from the off, and have really incredible luck on your items to, like, just take a character through hell. A melee character. And, you know, just, like, walk into the minions of destruction, like, decrepified, and just face tanking all their damage without a problem. Like, there's not a lot can do that. I don't think anything can do that, to be honest. And like I say, you can definitely do that with endgame gear, but get these apples. It's the corner store. I don't know where they get them. Like, I know the food shops around here. And they get them so consistently. Over long periods of time, and they're so freaking good. You know, it's like eating candy. I love that we just turn that from like one of the most hated sounds to like a sound of joy. That's it. I do still have a curse on me, and then I'll just. Let's go first. yeah, like 100%. If you're gonna play through this game and not want to die, but also not want to, like, you know, farm your tits off. You gotta just play something that can have minions. Like one of the reasons why playing this Amazon is so chill is because of the Valk. But also because, you know, obviously you're slowing stuff and it makes it harder for them to run over the mercenary and you just have so much time to kill it. I mean, like, doing the kind of cripples on setup where you're stacking as much slow as possible. But honestly, even just chucking Clegs on, just the amount of damage that will mitigate for your Valkyrie and your mercenary, and then they're just there, and you don't have to worry about them like crumpling like paper, you know. And while they're holding it back, you're just spraying it down, and you just spend the whole time shooting. And, you know, even ranged enemies and stuff, you can kind of just throw them at ranged enemies. Like, you can just throw the Valk at ranged enemies, and once you know, like, safely that everything is targeted on them, again, you just turn to a turret once again, go nuts. See what I mean? How, like, I have counterplay to Holy Priest that a melee character just does not have, and there's, like, I just don't understand why it's like that. You know? Like, my counterplay is to just walk backwards. But that said, like, even if I were doing a Spear Zone, like, solo self-bound, I don't know. It's like, yeah, maybe at some point you kind of yield to necessity and you say, like, yeah, okay, I farmed Nightmare Mephisto for ages, I farmed, you know, Hell Mephisto, I've used my imbues, I've, like, done some shopping, looking for, like, you know, cruel javelin or harpoon or whatever. And still nothing, you know, but I could happily, like, just make this obedience in a, you know, Mancatcher or Stygian Pike or something and actually continue playing the game. So I could totally understand it getting to that point. But even then, I'm like, I would still, the goal would still be to get a javelin of some type. Wait, this joke's so fast. Get out of here. Leave me alone. You too. Go away. No. Ugh. Maybe ladies. impact moment. Alright, now I kind of gotta go get these guys. They're looking at us funny. I was pretty sure I clicked on her, but apparently not. Very little point looking at these because, like, genuinely not bad. Like, they were actually good rolls on Cold and Fire, but 208 strength requirement is just like absolute silliness. There's no reason for it. Still got the Wind Force on swap. Tusk, I think. Yeah.
I am overburdened.
Definitely worth looking at. Alas. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Haltusk. I don't see it often though, so I'm gonna take a look at it. Yeah, not a very good item, although honestly, for like an Amazon or something, just going through Nightmare and you just want to play safe, like Hit Cause Monster Flea is quite decent. This could be worth holding on to. I'm not 100%, but anyway.
What can I do for you?
Probably tomorrow I'll farm those respecs. And start playing a melee Amazon through the game. Unlike, I don't know, maybe I can start it through from normal, just do it on stream. I feel like this game doesn't really get interesting until hell, personally. Because you can legitimately punch your way through normal. Like, I'm not joking when I say that. You know it. You've seen the gearless, playthroughs. Like, if you do like a rare only or a unique only, not so much rare only, you should easily find a rare weapon, but if you do unique only, you can very easily just punch your way through normal without ever finding a unique weapon. Like, pretty much every character, like all the melee characters, like kind of have a way to do it. Like, you've got Fire Claws on the Druid, got even Rabies on the Wolf, on normal. You know, the Paladin has Holy Shock, Holy Fire, Holy Freeze, all really good options. Even the Barbarian has like Leap Attack, just the flat AoE damage on Leap Attack is like totally good enough. And it's actually like one of the freest ways to clear normal as a Barbarian. Oh, okay, that's Griswolds, I think. Damn. Now this thing is a spicy meatball. The 224 ED, minus requirements, you know. Jeez, and with the minus requirements, like, even this Amazon can chop down. That's such a nice find. Like, Griswold's set for me is like, you know, very much like end game potential. Like, it's something you could just like go through the Ubers with Griswold set, nice, comfy. But man, that set does not, like, the only piece of that set that I've been finding prior to that was the armor. yeah, really cool find. I don't think that has a variable amount of sockets. And if it does, 4 would have to be the max, wouldn't it? It's funny, that doesn't get me like excited to play a paladin or anything though, because I've got plenty of good one-handed weapons. And when you don't have to worry about masteries or anything, like, it's just not that big a deal. Yeah, I got like B-Star, Lightsaber, a couple of each of those I think. I got the Zero Rat, I've got like pretty much like everything that can drop from Hell and Vista basically. So like all that stuff. The Adagan, Gene Slayer is it? Head Striker, not super aggressive in its like base form, but if you can find a polymer and upgrade it, one of the better one-handed weapons in the game, setting aside the basic stuff. Gotta taunt me.
I can't carry anymore.
But very cool to roll sockets into this. Damage procs do be bossing today. They do be. Who wanted that to be a Terra Zone? Literally no one. Ethereal? 3 socket? I could live with that. 4 sockets would be fine. Yeah, I genuinely don't know what to give this character now. Like, I just obviously vitality, pumping vitality, but I mean like here. And I suppose it's just more and more penetrate to buff. Attack rating maybe? Because all this is done. None of this is relevant. This buffs the Valkyrie. I don't know. I could maybe just throw them in there like kind of evenly. It's not really gonna make that much difference. The Valk is already like made of bricks and hits quite hard.
Good day.
Honestly, at this point in a character's progression, I'm just like happy to have points to spend in something that does anything. Freaking the trauma of playing Whirlwind Barbarian, like your build is like finished at like level 80 and you're just like, oh, alright. I mean, I guess I could like make myself a little bit faster or have a little bit more passive resistance. I don't know. You know, like you max Whirlwind, you max Battle Orders, you max your Mastery. And it's just like, literally, what now? That was super unique in there. I did not even see the bomb. That is a fancy heal.
I am overburdened.
Yep. Fancy heater. I think these things just take way too much strength, but just like jaunty skeletons marching along super fast. You should see a lot of stuff down there. Merc tanking it like it's an absolute boss.
I can't.
I know. You're supposed to roll them. I'm good. I got no one to sell it to, no matter how many sockets it gets, so... taking some. Yeah, maybe 2 out more. The drops have not been particularly kind today. The Griswolds was a really nice drop though, I can't argue about that. Can't complain. Oh, what would be really nice would be part of Trangs. Like, even just a belt. I think the belt's the rarest part of it, but... I think the belt's also the only part I don't have. Is this, gold wrap? Oh no, blade buckle, yeah. Not the greatest item, is it? Like, most of the unique belts, like the base unique belts, are like not terrible. Like the Lenimo is, yeah, it's two rows of potions for like 5% resist all belt, but it's still all resist. You know, like there's never a time when just getting resistances is a bad thing. Like, obviously, you can get more resistances on a rare belt, possibly even a magic belt. Certainly get much more meaningful resist. Because, you know, you could just shop for like, okay, I can fire resist, and shop for fire resist. But it's still 5 all resist, it's not a worthless affix. The mana regen is kind of worthless, but, I mean in the later game, it has some value. I still want a Procore, the articulated mail. I don't know why that thing is so rare. It doesn't want to drop. honestly, EXP still going up like at all. Makes me happy, especially because this is only players 5. I could crank it up more. It's so brutal, like how little the curse matters to me compared to how much it matters to the barbarian, and even more so the bear. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna roll the one I got, and I got some other stuff. Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's an amethyst, and it's sockets. Amrune, amethyst, and something else. Ralrune? Yeah, there we go. Ral, something else. Okay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I think that's the number of sockets I want, but I'm not 100%. So I may roll the other one, like, just cause. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I am overburdened.
That's right, I was gonna roll this. So that's another one of the rammies, nammies. Here's Rammy. And there's your ram. Right. Oi. Oh, it's superior. Okay, alright. Alright, well.
I can't.
You talking about woman? Oh. That's an ethereal obedience. I'm not complaining about that at all. I cannot and must not. And then we've got another mallet. But I think I already have one with 4. I could be like wildly wrong. It would be nice to get one with 5, but
I am overburdened.
probably shouldn't really waste my time running up here, but I don't know. It's always a big fight. It's really worth starting around. Like, I know Cranium Basher is not, you know, a great item, but it would still be cool to have. Although it is Cranium Basher. I think Cranium Basher is like, it has like a huge damage roll and a massive like damage number, but I don't think it has a whole lot else going for it apart from maybe like an enormous amount of crushing blow. And like, I don't know, that always seems weird to me how they do that, where it's like, you know, what you want to synergize crushing blow with is like fast attack speed, so you hit more crushing blows. But if you have this weapon that like the base damage itself is so high that you can kind of chunk stuff just off like the raw number, then like crushing blow is still good, but it's really only for act bosses at that point. Maybe possessed. Or like, yeah, I suppose if you like play as 8, it still definitely helps chunk stuff. But even then, I think it's more for like champions. And yeah, things like ancients, act bosses, mini bosses. Skeleton bike, you little. Why did I do that? I'm not a smart guy, you know, like, I'm just not. I just poke things sometimes to see what they do, even though I know what they do. You know, like one time, this was back in the day when, you know, you had stereos that like plugged in to power electricity, which is stuff we used to use.
Welcomes you.
And, you know, the cord like plugged into the back of my like radio slash music playing thingy, whatever it was, and it had like come loose, and I'd kind of like looped it around to like tighten it. It's hard to explain exactly what I was doing, but basically the cord would only be at work if it was kind of like jammed at this angle, so I was like constantly like tightening it like in a loop around the kind of little stereo, and then, you know, using the tension to pull it at the appropriate, like to pull it into the angle that it needed to be. Now, you know, eventually this just kind of like yanked the wires out of the plug. Like it had been under so much tension for so long that it just broke the like rubber coating, and it just stripped it away. There was just like this mess of like, you know, copper wire just staring at me, and it's plugged into mains power. And I just looked at it for like 3 seconds, and then I just touched it. And very, very lucky that I was kind of just like brushing it with my finger, you know, because I immediately felt my hand like claw up, and that almost kind of like pulled the finger off it. But you know, if I'd like held it, I don't know if I like because of the contraction of like the muscles. I don't know if I would have been able to actually like let it go. And you know, mains power will kill you. 240 volts can 100% kill you. So even just touching it at all could have died. Didn't. You know, probably the odds of me dying, you know, kind of just glancing it like that, not that high, right? I'm not trying to say it's like I was playing with my life, but it's more just like, you know, the stupid things I do sometimes. And like immediately after doing it, I was just like, why did I do that? I literally could have killed myself. I know that like electricity is dangerous. You know, fire bad. But for some reason I just touched the fire. I think I just have like a base. Like, I just have this kind of like weirdly mindless desire to be self-destructive often. You know, like, I talk to people who are like, oh, I don't like alcohol because it like really messes you up. I'm like, I literally see no point in drinking unless I get fucked. You know, like, I want to be like hopeless and worthless and incapable of doing anything and just like barely even capable of thinking and knowing that I exist, just utterly like, you know, any kind of substance I use, that's kind of what I want to do. And it's two-piece carving axe. I can't do it too sure. I gotta perfect it. I'm gonna practice it until I can't do it. And what you gotta do, you gotta farm the Fisto now in the next 10 minutes. And you'll receive this two-piece carving set. Like, what's just a scuff drop you can get from Mephisto? What you gotta do, you gotta farm Mephisto in the next 10 minutes, and you'll receive this two-piece jewelry set. It contains a Nokazan relic and a Manob's
What can I do
heel,
for you?
yours to keep, our gift to you. Yeah, that's 6 Eyes and Hearts armories and the two-piece jewelry set. Order now, Prime Evil's money back guarantee. What have you got to lose? Like, I used to legitimately get hyped when those ads came in, because it was funny shit. And like, in those days, like, you know, you couldn't just look funny, like, you know, oh, I saw this funny ad on the TV and now I'm gonna like look it up on the internet. Like, life was so much more FOMO back then. Like, the internet just preserves everything and keeps it for you. Like, it was just back in the day when it was like, I don't know, you you want to watch the popular new TV show, but you just can't, whatever reason, you know, you got sports practice or something, like, it's just at the wrong time and you can't get to it. Or maybe you manage to catch it like 3 times a week and you just like constantly lost. And it's just like, everything has changed now.
Yes?
For the better, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously it has its downsides, but like, come on, the convenience of like, just all this like media, you know, on demand. And also, you know, it gives like some crazy guy out there, like, you know, is gonna like tune into this stream because this, for whatever reason, is just ticking some weird chill box for him. That maybe like watching something on Netflix or local TV or whatever just doesn't do. Like, I've definitely felt that. Where it's like, I don't want a story, I don't want drama, I just like, I don't know. Like, there's a little bit of drama in streaming, you know, because people get excited about things, or angry about things, or frustrated about things, but it's not like, I guess the thing is that it's like, you know, in like popular fiction and stuff like that, it will usually try to present everything as being like high stakes. So it's like trying to keep you like tense about the outcome. Whereas, you know, something like a streamer is like, it's literally the opposite. Like, the worst thing that can happen to me now, like doing this, aside from like, you know, real life intruding, like, you know,
I can't carry anymore.
someone like doing a drive-by on my house or something, you know, the police arriving, but like, you know, setting aside, I mean, the worst thing that can happen like, in this game is still a triviality, like in the scheme of things. You know, I die in the game, I don't die in real life. I do a little bit on the inside, but that's different. And there's no getting around that the wind force kills faster, especially these little guys. But I still like the Witch Wild string. Like, it's not slow. It's like 2 volleys versus 3, I think. And I think if you were to crank this up to like players 8, they might even equalize somewhat because of the more frequent and damage procs. Laying of hands, that's fine. Was just using that on the bear. To be honest, probably something that I should think about muling off, because like, whenever people are like raving about how good the Bramble mitts are, I'm always kind of like, they're not that good though. Like, damage to demons is so situational, and you know, it's just regular IAS gloves, you know. But I always like, then it's just like, oh wait, hold on, no, 50 fire resist on gloves is really freaking good. Like, combined with the other affixes, suddenly it's like, oh okay, all right, now they kind of come alive. Because like 350% damage to demons, yeah, that might be situational, but it's still extremely powerful. You know, when it works, and it's extremely good. Okay, we are playing on PS3. Yeah, I was gonna say, because the Wind Force should not be deleting stuff quite this quick. Damn, and EXP was still going up. It's quite nice. But yeah, I'm very happy to switch this to PS5. Just for the EXP. Because honestly, the drops, you won't notice a difference. Like, you would notice a difference between, like, Players 1 and Players 3, or Players 1 and Players 8, or something. But the difference between, like, Players 3, Players 5, Players 7, which I think are the meaningful, quote-unquote, like, breakpoints, are fairly marginal. Maybe hold on to it. I'm not really sure what I would do with it, but now I have the space, so. Yeah, using Witch Wild String now because I want to see how it goes. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just copium. I'm not going to pretend the damage is as good as the Wind Force because it isn't. But look at how quickly it curse procs though. When you have these like mosh pits. And then once it does, that's all she wrote. And obviously the more like fluid play would be to like proc curse with the Witch Wild String and then switch to Wind Force. But if you were really going to use Witch Wild String as like purely to like proc the curse, probably wouldn't be worth necessarily upgrading it, and you'd probably socket it with 2 Shales. But then I feel like that kind of lowers your DPS. It's like, I still want to do damage while I'm waiting for the first proc. Why is this guy so fat? Juba? Yeah, I'm not having the best luck in the pits today, can't lie, but... You can't, like, you will never get the good runs. If you don't, you know, play through the bad runs. You've got to kind of take it in stride. So, but my stuff is coming. Like, my deliveries are on the way. They are coming. Like this could be the delivery of my skiller. It's not. It's not a bad charm. And, oh, okay. Actually, really cool. I'm not sure what I make in a 3-socket sword, but I think I now have 2 ethereal 3-socket or 1 3-socket, 1 4-socket, whatever. I've got 2 ethereal one-handed swords that I can like make something for a Frenzy Barb mercenary. So that's cool. Because I like the Frenzy Mercs. They're not as good as the Pokers, as the Spear Boys. The Spear Boys are just blessed, you know, because they got the auras.
Good day.
And, like, polearms? But they can use so many types of weapon that, like, finding them bases to make rune words in is not that hard. And also, there's just a lot of like really clutch rune words you can make for them. Like Insight, for example, is so cheap and so good. It's so damaging. And then you get the big quality of life with the mana regen. You know, you've got honor, you've got obedience, you've got hustle. Like hustle providing extra utility. Obedience, crushing blow. Resistance is with your mercenaries, so you can sort their shit out of you easily. Curses is going off everywhere. Can't even see the stuff that's getting cursed. Alright, hold on. Like, if you were just like random casual guy like playing through the game, if I was, I would not cry to get this bow. And like, you could find this base in like late Nightmare, so like, let's say this was like your Hell Imbue or something, or you just got lucky, you found it in like Act 1 Hell, like, I mean, I cleared Hell with a 60 damage bow, so a fast base bow that has twice that damage. It doesn't have the slow, it doesn't have the open wounds, but you can stack slow from other stuff. Rare ring. Alright, hold on a second. Probably gonna take off after this one. And I don't know, look, I'm kind of already at a point in the game where if I just find something I don't have that like I may have a use for someday, it's hard not to be pleased with it. But you always go through these dry patches when you're MFing. And you know, the choice is always there to either play through the dry patch or you just come back to it another day. But at some point you're gonna have to play through some dry patches. Like you can't just like only play Mephisto when Mephisto's dropping good stuff, because you're just that like you could never like have that promise. I really should be looking at these like druid helms and stuff. After I just rolled one. Oh, it's ethereal.
I can't.
Ah, okay. But I don't think there's anything I can really make in an ethereal. Maybe a black for a Bladesin, but it's just like, you know, 179 strength is just too much. Man, and that's reduced by it being ethereal.
I am overburdened.
Healing? Yeah, healing.
I am overburdened.
nice to get the Zon up to level 90. It's amazing like how quickly it all equalizes.